I'm Mike and welcome back to my channel. This is LMB Arts and today we're going to do an unboxing. I have here a Chicago Electric tile saw, but I'm going to use it as a trim saw. So I've prepped some slabs to cab, and I have this is a lapidary saw. It is from I Love Tool on Amazon. And I have my water hose and some electrical. So let's unbox this thing and see what it has in it, and let's see how it performs. I've never used this saw before, so this will be a learning experience for all of us. Okay, let's open this up and see what's inside. What I have found with some of these smaller tile saws is that they don't run quite as fast, so they do a pretty good job. I know I like the picture and the in-store display that they had, because it has a flat surface. So okay, first thing, we've got instructions. Very important. This looks like the accessories. Yeah, this is the splash guard, the tools for installing and removing the blade. This looks like another guide. More styrofoam. Okay, and here we have the saw itself. Let's get this out of the box. Okay, and that looks like that's everything, so I'll throw that to the side. Let's take the plastic off. Now, and now, like I had said, this has, there we go, try to get this in frame. Unfortunately, my table's a little wonky because my entire yard is at a tilt and this isn't the best table. But what I like about this is this completely flat, other than right here where the blade is. This is a completely flat surface. So the blade will be right here in the middle of this slot. And this is the guide, so we'll take that off for the moment. And we'll take a look at it. Yeah, it does have a tilt down here underneath the plate, so you can, let's see. Okay, here we go. It does have a tilt, so you can get a 45-degree angle in there. And I assume, well, let's not assume. Give me a second to take a look at the instructions, and we'll get the blade and everything installed. Okay, now that I've read the instructions on how to do everything, there is a screw on this side of the blade guard and one over here on that side that we have to take off. This water tray has to come out, and then we can drop the blade in and get it installed. So, and then the splash guard on top won't be a problem at all. And I think I'm going to have to do that off camera, because I don't think you'll be able to see what I'm going to be doing. But that's essentially what we're doing, is we're taking those two screws off so that this guard here can come off, and then the blade just slips down onto the shaft and we tighten the nuts onto it. But I will get this going, and if I can figure out a good angle to do this, because it's just me filming this, so you have to bear with me here, but we'll get that blade installed, and hopefully I can take you through the process if I can figure this out real quick. I'm kind of doing this on the fly, and so and you've probably already guessed by now that this is completely unscripted. So let me see what I can do here. Okay, I've got the water pan out. I think the best way to do this is just to kind of set it up here on its side so you can hopefully see what I'm doing. But there is a screw. There are 2 screws. And I'm going to undo those. All right, and there's our bolt that holds everything together. We take this plate off. Now these blades always have a direction that they have to go, and there's usually an arrow. So I want, since I'm upside down here, I want the blade. Yeah, I want the blade like this, because once it's dropped in, yeah, it will be spinning this way. So I believe I want the teeth. Let me pull this back out here now that I know which way I'm going. There are some very small, you can see the fine grinding teeth. Those need to go, instead of the slant going into the rock, we want it away. So we'll drop it in this way. And then this goes on. There we go. And then should be able to just give that a little. I find that if you just hand snug it, that's going to be good enough. So now that blade's on there. So now we can put our blade guard back on. So now and I've already dropped one of the screws. And the grass is tall up here because it's been raining. That is just fantastic. Now, give me a minute, I'll find my magnet. Hopefully it didn't go too far, but I've got a magnet, so let me see if I can find that screw that I dropped and its washer, and I'll be back and we'll get this installed. Okay, disaster averted. I found it, so now we just got to tighten it back up. I can tell you right now that putting the blade off and on this way is not my idea of fun. So anyway, now that we've got that in, we can put our water pan back on. And then now let's put our splash guard on. And this should just be, now there's a nut right here, so we don't want to lose that. But this is just going to slide on. Like so. So now we put that nut back in there, tighten this back on. And now we have the saw fully assembled. And since I'm using this as a trim saw, I'm not planning on cutting slabs with this. So now let's turn it on and see what we can do with it. I've got my slabs already marked, so let me switch the camera around and we'll see how fast this thing goes and how well it can trim. Alright, let's turn this thing on and see what it does. We've got water going through there, so here we go. Well, that fracture made it a little easier. Okay, I did not tighten that down enough, so let me readjust, retighten, and we'll try this again. This is my own bit of incompetence, I suppose, so give me just a minute and I'll be right back after I fix this. Okay, there we go. It's been cut down and well within grinding range. So that's not too bad right there for that. And so my thoughts on it are that if you need to get a start, for $65, it's not a bad way to go if you've got a way to get slabs. You could probably slab a small rock with the 7-inch blade from Harbor Freight. All in all, I think it'll be good. I'll test. I'll play around with it some more and see what I can do. I'm not crazy about... I'd rather the top come off to get to the blade and put it in that way, and I'd rather, instead of a removable water tray, which, I mean, that is, I can see some advantages to it, but I like the bigger ones that have the drain at the bottom, and but that does make for easier clean out with the removable tray. Other than that, it's better, you know, if you don't have the money to buy a lapidary saw, which I do not, and I can't get to the lapidary shop, you know, just every day to cut some rocks, but if you're going to cut some smaller stone, you know, about say inch and a half size rock, you could easily do that on this. I would get the 7-inch Harbor Freight Bauer diamond blade. That would it's going to be a little it's a little thicker, so there'll be a lot less, it'll be a lot more forgiving. This because it's so thin, it's not the best blade on this kind of a saw. If you have a lapidary saw that runs slower, I'm sure it'd be fine. But that's kind of my thought. It's not bad. It's a good starter for sure. I was a little doubtful about its performance before I bought it, but for the price, I thought, okay, I'll give it a try. Chicago Electric also makes rock tumblers, which I am not. I'm not at all. I don't like them. The barrels walk too much, and you end up putting grooves in the lids, and if you buy replacement barrels or lids, they don't fit right. The replacements tend to be a little too thick. But anyway, that's a whole nother issue for me. But no, if you want to get started and maybe you've got a 10-inch tile saw that makes good slabs for you, that's great. But I find, like with my MK101, it's a little harder to cut, to be a little more precise. So I think this is the way to go if you need a smaller, like if you want a trimming saw. So yeah, if you like this video, please, by all means, give it a like. Leave me a comment on what you thought or what you would like to see. Or if you really like my content, check out my other videos, and subscribe if I've earned your subscription, and share these videos with friends and family and anybody else you can think of that might be remotely interested, and hit that notification bell for any future videos that I might post. I'm going to try to be a little more regular, but at this point I just kind of do videos as I find myself doing something that I think would be interesting. So that's why I need those comments to let me know what you want to see, and I will do my best to accommodate. So thank you for watching if you've made it this far, and I will see you in the next video.